Hello guys, today we are going to cover another design pattern, and now in today's video that would be a factory design pattern. So we're going to cover three things about factory design pattern. What is a factory design pattern? Second, implementation of factory design pattern through an example, and then applicability. So the definition which you can get from internet is like this: define an interface for creating an object, but let subclass decide which class to instantiate. The factory method lets a class differ instantiated it uses to subclass. So what does it mean actually is the base class will define an interface for creating a object, and it will uses that interface in their another logics, but the creation of that but that creation method will be filled in by the drive classes. So what will happen is like there's a base class and there's a very abstract method that will be overridden by the drive classes and filled in the details. Okay, so the end result will follow open close principle. So open close principle is open for extension, close for modification, and end result would be more flexible to on the event of change. Okay, so let's get into the implementation part. So for implementation, we are going to have create a hierarchy. So is a two hierarchy. So one hierarchy is of button. So there is a button base class, and it has two drive class: Windows button and Linux button, and they are just overriding the virtual functions. And then there is another hierarchy of dialog boxes. So in this case, we have an abstract creation method that is actually a factory method which we can call, and then we have a create dialog function that is using a make button factory method. So this factory method make button is overridden by Windows dialog and Linux dialog drive classes of dialog, and they are creating a Windows button in Windows dialog and Linux button in case of Linux dialog box. And inside of main we are just creating a Windows dialog and just calling a create dialog. This will just call this make button, which will be this one, and just call the appropriate functions. So if we run this program, we'll see the required output. So it first call the Windows button, and then it just call the click, and then it call the Linux button, and this call the Linux click. Okay, so this is an easy um, program. I haven't separated into multiple files for the sake of the tutorial, but it can be done and should be done. So this is a different class and this is a different class, so it should be on a different file. So now let's get to the next, which is applicability. So you can use factory design pattern if you are a creator of a framework. You can provide interface to the user to extend the creation logic. So if user wants to use their own creation strategy, they can just override the virtual function given by your framework, and they'll just do the creation logic there. And second is it's like if you have large object creation like database, you can cache those objects, because being factory you can always check that if object is already created, and you can just provide the already created objects. And third one is if you don't know before an exact types with which you are going to work, then factory design pattern might be useful to you. Okay, so that's all for this video. If you have any question, please leave in the comments, and don't forget to like this video. Bye for now.